Hello everyone. I want to talk about something that lives in the quiet space after a relationship ends, a feeling that so many of you have asked about because it's so confusing, so painful, and so deeply human. We're going to talk about the hidden journey, the silent stages, that an avoidant person often goes through after they've lost you. This isn't about winning or losing, and it's certainly not a manual for getting someone back. This is about understanding the profound and often invisible process of regret, a process that unfolds in the secret chambers of the heart, especially in someone who is wired to look away from their own feelings. Now, please, hold this loosely. These stages aren't a rigid checklist on a timeline. The human heart doesn't work like that. It's messy, it loops back on itself, it gets stuck. Some people skip stages, some get trapped in one for years, some move through them so quietly you'd never know. This can happen whether they left you, or you found the strength to leave them. The end of a significant connection creates a vacuum, and nature abhors a vacuum, especially the nature of the human soul. Eventually, something has to rush in to fill that space. And what often rushes in, after the initial shock, is a slow, dawning recognition of what was truly lost. The first stage, and this is the one that hurts the most to witness, is what I call the illusion of relief. This is not fake. It's crucial to understand that. When the relationship ends, especially if it was fraught with tension or their own internal conflict, the avoidant person often feels an immense, tangible sense of weight being lifted. It's like they've been holding their breath underwater for months and finally burst through the surface, gasping in the air. They are free. The source of their perceived constraint is gone. They can suddenly breathe. You might see them seeming happier, lighter, more active. They might post pictures smiling on a hike. They might seem more social. And your heart breaks because it looks like they're fine, like the relationship meant nothing. But here's the metaphor I want you to hold on to. This feeling is like a sugar rush. It's a spike of energy, a genuine feeling in the moment, but it's not sustainable. It's not built on a foundation of genuine peace and contentment. It's built on the absence of a struggle they no longer have to face. They've stopped running, so they feel good. But they haven't asked themselves why they were running in the first place, or what they were running from. This feeling of freedom is real, but it's a surface-level reality. It's the calm after the storm, but the landscape is still devastated, and the rains will return. Because that sugar rush always crashes. And when it does, we move into the second stage, the fortress of distraction. This is different from feeling light and free. This is an active, frantic, almost desperate effort to stay feeling light and free. The good feelings are fading, and in their place, a low hum of unease begins. A quiet voice whispers, "Was it really all their fault?" What if, and that voice is so terrifying to an avoidant person that they must immediately drown it out. So they build a fortress. They don't just go for a hike, they plan a solo backpacking trip across a continent. They don't just go out with friends, they completely change their social scene, hanging out with people who never knew you, in places that hold no memory of your love. They might pick up extreme sports, work 80-hour weeks, or completely reinvent their personality. You'll look at them and think, who is this person? Because the person you knew, the one who loved quiet nights in specific routines, seems to have vanished. That's because they have, temporarily. Their normal, day-to-day life is now a minefield of memories. Their favorite coffee shop? You went there together. That song on the radio? It was your song. So they have to become someone new, someone whose life doesn't include those triggers. This isn't about moving on, it's about escape. It's a performance they're putting on for the most important audience, themselves. They are trying to outrun the echo of your absence. But you cannot outrun your own shadow. No matter how fast you go, How far you travel, your shadow is always there, attached to you. And the more they run, the more exhausted they become, until the walls of the fortress they built start to crack. And through those cracks, a gentle, bittersweet light begins to seep in. This is the third stage, the ache of nostalgia. The frantic energy of distraction burns out, and in the quiet stillness that follows, the memories come flooding back. Not the bad memories, not the arguments or the frustrations, those have already been processed. Now, it's the good ones. It's the memory of your laugh echoing in a silent room. It's the way you used to look at them when they felt truly seen. It's the inside jokes, the comfort, the simple, unremarkable moments that actually constituted the fabric of your love, watching TV on the couch, cooking dinner together, the way you'd squeeze their hand when you knew they were anxious. They might find themselves driving past your old apartment. They might scroll through old photos, not with malice, but with a profound sense of longing. They might listen to a playlist that reminds them of you and just sit in the car, letting the feeling wash over them. This is a critical turning point. This is where the heart, which has been so expertly suppressed, begins to speak its truth. It's a quiet, persistent ache. It's the soul remembering its home. In this stage, they aren't just thinking about you, they are feeling the space where you used to be. And that space feels hollow. This hollow feeling leads directly to the fourth stage, which is perhaps the most painful for them, the emotional awakening. This is the moment the avoidant person can no longer intellectualize the loss. They can't explain it away or distract themselves from it. They feel your absence not as an idea, but as a physical sensation. It's a void, an emptiness that their trips to Spain, their new hobbies, their new friends, cannot fill. They start to miss you, not just a relationship, not just companionship, but your specific essence. Your kindness, your strength, the particular way you comforted them. They realize, often for the first time, that what they perceived as a burden was actually the very architecture of their emotional security. They were leaning on a wall they thought was caging them in, and now that the wall is gone, they are falling. This is often when you might see the first tentative, confusing attempts at contact. A like on an old photo. A random text at midnight, "Hey, how have you been?" They are testing the waters, not with a grand plan to win you back, but with a desperate, primal need to see if the connection still exists. Is that thread still intact? If they pull on it gently, will there be a tug back? It's a fragile, vulnerable moment. For some who are a little further along in their own healing, this might be a more direct apology, an admission of missing you. But for many, the fear is still too great. Because if that awakening is too bright, too sharp, it can send them right back into the fortress. This leads to a deeper, more introspective phase, the crucible of regret. This is where they truly face what happened. They replay the arguments, the moments they shut down, the things they said that can't be unsaid. They ruminate. They might talk about you to their friends or a therapist, trying to make sense of their own behavior. This is where the guilt sets in. They realize the pain they may have caused. And this is a very lonely place to be. This is often when someone might block you, not out of anger, but out of a desperate need to sit in this regret without the terrifying possibility of you reaching out and confirming their deepest fear, that they hurt you irreparably. The block isn't a message to you, it's a boundary for them, a way to create a container for their own difficult emotions without the risk of being interrupted or, worse, rejected. And finally, after weathering this storm, they arrive at a crossroads, acceptance or reconnection. They have processed the loss, they have felt the regret, they understand their role in the dynamic. Now, a choice must be made. Some will choose acceptance. They will accept that the chapter is closed, and they will work to genuinely move on, carrying the lessons with them. But others, if the love was true and deep, will choose reconnection. And this is not a decision made lightly. It's born from the rubble of all the previous stages. When they reach out this time, it's different. It's not a casual, fearful text. It's often a sober, humble, and clear attempt. They apologize with specificity. They acknowledge what they lost. They express, perhaps for the first time, a genuine understanding of your value. And if you choose to open that door, even a crack, what you often see is tangible change. They have been through a refining fire. The issues that caused the breakup, the fear of commitment, the emotional unavailability, these are the very things they have been forced to confront in your absence. Their return is often accompanied by a newfound willingness to be vulnerable, to stay present during conflict, to do the work. It doesn't mean it's easy, or that the relationship is guaranteed to work. But it means the loss served a purpose. It became a catalyst for growth. So if you're sitting there, wondering if they miss you, if they regret it, know this: the absence of noise does not mean the absence of feeling. The most profound transformations often happen in the deepest silence. Your value is not determined by their ability to see it in a moment of fear and confusion. Your worth was written on their soul long ago, and even if they try to look away, the soul has a perfect memory. It remembers its home. And no matter how far they travel, or how high they build their walls, that memory has a gravity all its own. Be patient with your own heart. Your healing is the most important story here. Their journey is